Busting in for the takedown. This is what it takes, police say, to rid the streets of some of the city's most notorious gang members. From the WOOO and CHOO gangs. Their main focus, allegedly, is violence and vengeance.
And members of one of the city's most violent gangs are behind bars this afternoon. They're part of the Trinitarios gang that calls itself OED, which stands for Own Every Dollar. They operate
their gang.
They did so violently, investigators say. Over the course of 3.5 years, they carried out at least 32 violent
Law enforcement
crimes.
agencies in New York have been conducting extensive investigations to combat the persistent threat of gang-related violence and criminal activities in the city. The latest wave of indictments targets various gangs, including the Martense Beverly Bosses, MBB, G-Side Drilly Gang, Own Every Dollar, OD, and the rival groups WOOO and CHOO, all of which are implicated in a series of violent incidents across different neighborhoods. These gangs are accused of engaging in racketeering, drug trafficking, illegal firearms possession, and a slew of violent acts, including fatal and non-fatal shootings. The efforts of federal and local authorities aim to disrupt the operations of these criminal organizations, restore safety to affected communities, and hold those responsible for the violence accountable.
Busting in for the takedown. This is what it takes, police say, to rid the streets of some of the city's most notorious gang members. From the WOOO and CHOO gangs. Their main focus, allegedly, is violence and vengeance. Police say Cook orchestrated the mid-afternoon shooting outside of a Brooklyn doctor's office, caught on surveillance video. Perhaps the saddest case is 3-year-old Tiara Atkins being shot right outside of her daycare center. Surveillance video shows the intense moments the toddler is holding her father's hands before police say a CHOO member, Dalik Habasham, pulled the trigger. Thankfully, she survived. The two gangs have been terrorizing communities in Brownsville and in Flatbush over the course of a 2-year war. Police say shooting at each other, then bragging about their victims on social media in drill rap videos. But with many of the key players behind bars...
A total of 106 counts have been brought against 32 defendants, 13 alleged members of the WOOO group, and 19 alleged members of the CHOO group. The indictments are the result of a comprehensive investigation led by the District Attorney's Violent Criminal Enterprises Bureau and the NYPD's Gun Violence Suppression Division. This investigation, spanning from the spring of 2020 to November 2022, focused on two rival groups operating out of several neighboring housing complexes in Brownsville. WOOO is based in the Seth Lowe houses, Van Dyke houses, Langston Hughes houses, Glenmore Plaza, and Brownsville houses. This group is comprised of several subsets, including OMB, 1800, Gorilla Stone Bloods, Macballer Bloods, 5'9 Brim, Yawa, and Pistol Packin' Pitkin, PPP. CHOO, on the other hand, operates from the Tilden houses, Howard houses, Marcus Garvey Village, Newport Gardens, and Riverdale Towers. Their ranks include subsets such as Folk Nation, also known as Gangster Disciples, Move in Silence, MIS, and Hood Stars. The dividing line between these two territories is often marked by Dumont Avenue, with some housing complexes under the control of both groups located along the same streets. The prolonged rivalry between these organizations is rooted in the desire to maintain control over their respective territories and to assert dominance over each other. This ongoing conflict has led to frequent acts of violence. Much of the animosity intensified following the deletion of WOOO member Shamal Boomer on July 10, 2020. While Boomer's deletion was allegedly carried out by a member of the Bergen Fam group, both Bergen Fam and CHOO celebrated the incident. This act of disrespect became a catalyst for further conflict, with WOOO members vowing to retaliate against their rivals, including CHOO, in what they referred to on social media as the Boomin' for Boomer movement. In response, CHOO members also engaged in violent acts against WOOO members and those perceived to be aligned with them. During the period covered by the indictments, there were 27 incidents, including 2 fatal shootings and 17 non-fatal shootings, which left 14 individuals injured. Over 25 firearms were reportedly used in these violent acts, and 27 firearms were recovered during the investigation. The indictments indicate that many of these incidents were captured on surveillance video and that the defendants boasted about their actions on social media and in music videos, discussing and taking credit for acts of violence. The first fatal incident mentioned in the indictment occurred on July 5, 2020, when CHOO member Corey Henry allegedly entered WOOO territory at the Glenmore Plaza housing complex and fatally shot WOOO member Jarl Goss. The second occurred on July 12, 2022, when CHOO member Shocker Bartley allegedly shot and fatally injured Tyree McLaughlin, a WOO member, outside the Brownsville houses, which are considered WOO territory. Other significant incidents charged in the indictments include the following. On March 25, 2022, it is alleged that Dalik Habersham traveled in a BMW driven by Princess Chambers to Riverdale Avenue, where he believed a WOO member resided. Once there, Habersham allegedly exited the vehicle and fired in the direction of a man who was placing a young child in his car, mistakenly believing the man to be a rival. The child, a 3-year-old girl, was struck in the shoulder. The next day, Habersham allegedly sent a screenshot of a news article about the incident to a private Instagram group, followed by the message, "Did bad." On April 14, 2021, CHOO member Parnell Brown was reportedly struck by a Hyundai Sonata driven by WOO member Davian Thompson as Brown attempted to cross the street. After being thrown onto the hood and then to the ground, Brown allegedly pursued the vehicle on foot and fired shots at it as it sped away. It is further alleged that Thompson drove directly to Saks Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, where surveillance footage captured him shopping at the luxury store. On October 6, 2020, WOO member Lawrence Cook allegedly summoned fellow members Elijah Griffith and Avani Stephen after spotting a rival CHOO member in a doctor's office waiting room. Griffith and Stephen reportedly arrived and waited nearby until the CHOO member exited the office with his mother and young siblings at approximately 2:50 p.m. As the family entered their vehicle, Griffith allegedly fired multiple shots at the vehicle, following WOO's purported policy of shoot on sight.
Every single day, just to live a life exclusively to benefit their gang.
They did so violently, investigators say. Over the course of 3.5 years, they carried out at least 32 drill rap videos made against any perceived threat to the gang.
They call people out directly. They make fun of incidents, individuals that have perished prior to gunfire, opposing gang members.
One of those locations is here on East Fordham Road. You see it's a busy shopping area. 2 of the suspects, both under 18 years old, allegedly shot at someone here in the middle of the day. That was in 2020.
In the aftermath of the NYPD's Operation Drilly investigation.
These are the trigger pullers, the very few individuals that make it uncomfortable and downright dangerous for all the great people. And this gang conducted wolf pack-like searches throughout the investigation. What are they looking for? They're hunting opposing gang members.
According to the investigation, the defendants, alleged members of the G-Side Drilly Gang, a subset of blood, sex, money, murder, are accused of engaging in a series of violent acts between September 20th, 2018 and March 15, 2022. These incidents reportedly took place primarily in the areas of East Gun Hill Road, Hall Avenue, and Decatur Avenue. During this period, the defendants are alleged to have carried out multiple incidents of violence, including fatal and non-fatal shootings and stabbings, resulting in the deletion of 2 individuals and injuries to 6 others. Defendants, who are also prominent in the drill rap scene, are accused of boasting about these violent acts in music videos posted on YouTube. The investigation led to the seizure of 18 firearms. Additionally, 3 defendants have been charged with committing violent acts while held at Rikers Island. One notable incident occurred on January 9, 2019, when, at approximately 1 o'clock, 4 defendants, including 1 teenager, along with other individuals, allegedly surrounded an 18-year-old CUNY prep student as he was leaving school and attempted to rob him. The defendants reportedly attacked the victim with multiple weapons, including a knife, resulting in serious injuries that required emergency medical intervention and life-saving blood transfusions. The incident was captured on video surveillance. On July 20, 2020, in front of 3343 Decatur Avenue, 6 defendants, 2 of whom were teenagers at the time, allegedly pursued James Rivera, 24. 4 defendants reportedly fired multiple shots at Rivera, and 1 defendant allegedly attempted to stab him after he fell to the ground. Rivera ultimately succumbed to a gunshot wound to the back. On September 29, 2020, at approximately 2 o'clock, 2 juvenile defendants allegedly fired shots at their intended target in a busy commercial area near a subway station on East Fordham Road, putting the lives of numerous bystanders, including children, at risk. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. On April 25, 2021, inside the Robert Ann Devorance Center on Rikers Island, 3 defendants are accused of assaulting a rival group member. Another incident occurred on March 17, 2021, when 4 defendants reportedly entered an apartment on Hall Avenue and allegedly shot Delilah Vasquez, 20, at close range. Surveillance footage shows the defendants entering and leaving the building. On June 28, 2021, at approximately 10 o'clock, two defendants allegedly fired multiple shots at their target in front of 3573 DeKalb Avenue. The shooting resulted in injuries to three uninvolved bystanders, a 66-year-old woman, a 39-year-old man, and a 31-year-old man. On the evening of October 22, 2021, two defendants reportedly waited outside a barber shop on East Gun Hill Road for about 15 minutes before entering and allegedly firing multiple shots at their intended target. The individual, who was getting a haircut at the time, attempted to take cover but was struck in the stomach and leg. He was transported to the hospital and survived the injuries. Surveillance footage shows patrons in the barbershop running for cover during the incident.
Tonight, 18 alleged gang members and their friends indicted on dozens of charges, including shootings, like this one in the Kings Plaza Mall in Brooklyn, when members of the Martense Beverly Bosses saw rival gang members at the mall. Cops say this is a big deal. Here's Eyewitness News reporter N.J. Burkett.
The Kings Plaza Mall, 5:30 in the afternoon. A young man with a gun aims and fires at a rival gang member. The gun jams, the clip falls out, and there's pandemonium. Committed by members of the Martense Beverly Bosses, a violent street gang affiliated with the notorious gang known as the Bloods.
During the course of this investigation, we saw members firing indiscriminately during daylight hours in the crowds with total disregard to innocent persons as well as rival gangs.
District Attorney announced an indictment involving alleged members of the Martense Beverly Bosses, MBB, a group reportedly affiliated with the 5'9 Brims, a subset of the larger Bloods gang. MBB is said to have operated primarily in and around the East Flatbush area of Brooklyn. The indictment details a series of activities between June 1, 2016 and June 14, 2018. During which MBB was allegedly engaged in conflicts with several rival groups such as the Folk Nation. Numerous other violent incidents, including 2 fatal shootings, are described in the indictment as part of this ongoing rivalry. Recorded conversations among MBB members allegedly revealed frequent discussions about who was up on the scoreboard, referring to acts of violence between the gangs. The members reportedly used coded language, referring to firearms as ball kicks and missed shots as air balls. Incarcerated members were allegedly referred to as bench warmers. The indictment also claims that MBB kept incarcerated members informed about the group's activities, including arrests, acts of violence, and other events involving the gang. One incident detailed in the indictment occurred on July 8, 2017, at around 5:40 p.m., when Quentin Raymond, Jeremy Deneau, and Stephen Daly were at Kings Plaza Mall and spotted members of a rival gang. After attempting unsuccessfully to lure the rivals outside, Daly allegedly handed a firearm to Raymond, who tried to fire it but managed only a single shot as the gun reportedly jammed. Another incident occurred on September 16, 2017 at approximately 4:25 a.m. when Donovan Frazier was allegedly deleted by Jemani Carrington while exiting Franklin's Finest Deli in Crown Heights. Frazier was reportedly associated with Lincoln Fam, a rival group to MBB. On October 20, 2017, Jave Duncan and several others were walking along Linden Boulevard when Duncan allegedly fired 6 shots from a .380 caliber pistol at a rival, striking him once in the foot. The indictment also describes an incident on April 1, 2018, when Kobe Franklin, Harold Phillips, and 2 others allegedly left Phillips's residence and entered rival territory. Franklin is accused of carrying the firearm to and from the scene, while Phillips is alleged to have used it to delete Jerome Spence, a 26-year-old construction worker.
10 members of one of the city's most violent gangs are behind bars this afternoon. They're part of the Trinitarios gang that calls itself OED, which stands for Own Every Dollar. They operated mainly in Washington Heights, also in the Bronx, though, and Queens. They're charged with narcotics conspiracy. The defendants are accused of selling several drugs, including fentanyl.
High-end heists, a shootout with police, and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of watches and jewelry. It's all in a night's work for alleged members of the OED, or Own Every Dollar crew, which may be an affiliate of the notorious Trinitarios gangs. Now time may be running out for them. A high-end armed robbery ring believed to be responsible for a dozen or more heists throughout the city were added again outside the trendy Pergola restaurant in the Nomad district about 1:15 Monday morning. Police say officers tried to pull over 2 suspects in a BMW they believed was connected to previous crimes, but the driver sped up and jumped a curb.
Federal prosecutors in New York have unsealed a superseding indictment charging more than a dozen members of the criminal street gang Own Every Dollar, OED, with racketeering, robbery, illegal firearms possession, narcotics trafficking, and both attempted and completed deletions. OED, a subset of the Trinitarios gang, operated mainly in and around Washington Heights, as well as in the Bronx and Queens. The group is known for its use of extreme violence to further its criminal activities. The 16 defendants are accused of distributing various narcotics. The indictment alleges that they sold drugs to undercover police officers and were frequently apprehended with narcotics pre-packaged for sale. Many of the defendants allegedly posted photos and videos of themselves holding firearms on social media. The indictment links the group to at least 5 fatal incidents, including the deletion of 41-year-old Anthony Savarese on February 7, 2022, the deletions of 30-year-old Richard Dominguez and Israel Cabrera on July 2, 2020, the deletion of 22-year-old Nicholas Vargas Jr. on August 31, 2018, and the deletion of Hector Cruz on April 14, 2019. The document details numerous acts of violence committed by the defendants. On August 31, 2018, Jawinky Nunez Jr. allegedly shot Nicholas Vargas near 232nd Street in the Bronx. On April 14, 2019, Nunez Jr. and Jaron Pina allegedly targeted Hector Cruz near West 135th Street in Manhattan. On January 24, 2020, Nunez Jr., Brian Hernandez, Wilson Mendez, Stephen Joaquin, and Argenis Tavares allegedly fired at a rival group member near West 136th Street in Manhattan. In February 2020, Nunez Jr., Pina, Hernandez, and Tavares allegedly fired at rival gang members near West 138th Street in Manhattan. On March 30, 2020, Nunez Jr. and Joaquin allegedly fired at a rival narcotics dealer near West 180th Street in Manhattan. On April 18, 2020, Nunez Sir allegedly fired at an individual near Audubon Avenue in Manhattan. Other incidents include a shooting on May 13, 2020, when Justin Diza and Mendez allegedly fired at rival narcotics dealers near West 184th Street in Manhattan. On May 15, 2020, Hernandez allegedly fired at a rival narcotics dealer near West 188th Street in Manhattan. On June 26, 2020, Nunez Jr., Joaquin, and Ari Rodriguez Rosario allegedly fired at rival narcotics dealers during a high-speed pursuit in Washington Heights. On July 2, 2020, Nunez Jr., Hernandez, and Rodriguez Rosario allegedly deleted Richard Dominguez and Israel Cabrera near Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. On July 5, 2020, Nunez Jr. and Rodriguez Rosario allegedly fired at rival gang members near West 136th Street in Manhattan. On July 18, 2020, Nunez Jr. allegedly fired at an individual near West 183rd Street in Manhattan. On October 22, 2020, Nunez Jr. and Diza allegedly fired at individuals near Valentine Avenue in the Bronx. On December 13, 2020, Mendez allegedly committed an armed robbery near West 188th Street in Manhattan. The indictment further describes incidents involving internal conflicts and violent confrontations between the gang members themselves. For example, on August 12, 2021, Hugo Rodriguez and Nunez Sir allegedly engaged in a shootout with each other near West 183rd Street in Manhattan. In August 2021, Diza allegedly committed an armed robbery near West 28th Street in Manhattan. In September 2021, Diza allegedly attempted another armed robbery near the FDR Drive in Manhattan and, along with Mendez, committed an armed robbery in Queens. On January 22, 2022, Nunez Jr., Pina, Trejo, and Joaquin allegedly committed an armed robbery and fired shots at several individuals near West 145th Street in Manhattan. On February 7, 2022, Mayovan X Rodriguez allegedly deleted Anthony Savarese near Andrews Avenue in the Bronx. On February 14, 2022, Hugo Rodriguez and Trejo allegedly committed an armed robbery near West 203rd Street in Manhattan. Finally, on March 4, 2022, Nunez Jr. and Trejo allegedly fired at a rival gang member near Dyckman Street in Manhattan. The indictments of these gang members represent a significant step forward in addressing the challenges posed by organized crime and gang violence in New York City. By bringing these individuals to justice, law enforcement agencies are working to dismantle dangerous networks and protect communities from further harm. While these legal actions mark progress, sustained efforts and community engagement will be crucial in maintaining safety and preventing future criminal activities.